Hello everyone. I hope you're doing well today. But now I want you to listen very carefully, because this video might change the way you see English forever. Most people think vocabulary is just about learning new words. But the truth is, vocabulary is about expanding your mind. The words you use every day shape your thoughts, your emotions, even your destiny. If you say small words, you think small. But if you learn to use powerful words, you begin to think in powerful ways. So in this video, we're not just going to talk about words. We're going to rebuild your entire relationship with language. I'll show you how to build your word bank naturally, how to think in phrases, not words, and how to speak with precision so every sentence you say feels alive, confident, and unforgettable. Because vocabulary is not memory, it's mindset. Ready? Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Sentence Mirror. Every English sentence you write or speak is a mirror. It reflects not just your grammar, but your mind. When you say, "I can't," it's not just poor English, it's a poor belief. When you say, "I'll try," it's not just weak grammar, it's a weak mindset. But when you say, "I will," your brain changes, your tone changes, your life changes. Your sentences reveal who you are becoming. The words you choose every day quietly program your brain. When you repeat phrases like, "I'm not fluent," your brain starts believing it. It builds that sentence into your identity. That's called linguistic conditioning, a psychological truth that says your language shapes your reality. So if you want to grow your vocabulary, don't start with words, start with thoughts. The stronger your thinking, the stronger your language. Every time you create a new sentence, ask yourself, what is this sentence saying about me? Because it's not just English, it's reflection. Let's do a small exercise. Write one sentence you use often in your mind, something like, "I'm bad at speaking English." Now rewrite it. "I'm improving my English every day." Feel that shift? That's not just grammar, that's transformation. When you use positive, powerful structures, your brain starts associating English with strength, not shame. It stops resisting. It starts expanding. That's how vocabulary grows, from meaning, not memorization. Here's the psychology behind it. Your brain learns faster when your emotions are involved. When you say something that inspires you, your mind lights up. Words become memories. Sentences become confidence. So when you build vocabulary, make it emotional. Don't just say word, say world. Don't just say try, say commit. Don't just say I can't, say watch me. When you treat English like a mirror of your mind, it becomes personal. Every sentence becomes a declaration of who you are. Every word becomes a brushstroke painting your future. So today, when you speak, I want you to be aware. Don't just repeat words, observe them. Don't just collect vocabulary, connect vocabulary. The goal is not to memorize words. It's to understand your thoughts clearly enough to express them beautifully. Your brain learns best when it feels identity in what it says. That's why great communicators sound natural. They don't think in rules, they think in rhythm. They don't worry about mistakes, they focus on meaning. Remember this, your English is not weak, it's waiting. It's waiting for you to use the right sentences, the right energy, the right vision. Every word you learn is a mirror reflecting your potential. So next time you write or speak, don't ask, "Is my grammar right?" Ask, "Is my message real?" Because when your message becomes real, your English becomes powerful. That's the secret of the sentence mirror. Chapter 2. Break the grammar fear. Let's be honest. Grammar fear is one of the biggest reasons people stop growing in English. You open your mouth to speak, and suddenly a small voice in your head whispers, "What if I make a mistake?" You freeze. You hesitate. You stay silent. That silence is not a lack of English. It's a lack of confidence. You were not born afraid to speak. You learned that fear from people who told you, "Don't make mistakes." But listen to me carefully. Mistakes are not failure. Mistakes are feedback. They are your brain's way of learning faster. Psychologists call this error-based learning. Your mind grows stronger every time you correct yourself gently. But if you punish yourself, your brain shuts down. It stops taking risks. It stops learning. So today, I want you to make peace with mistakes. Say it with me. I learn through mistakes. Let's break it down psychologically. When you feel fear, your brain releases cortisol, the stress hormone. It freezes memory and blocks creativity. But when you feel curiosity, your brain releases dopamine. Dopamine makes learning enjoyable, natural, and powerful. So, the next time you make an error, don't say, "I'm stupid." Say, "Interesting. My brain is learning." That's how you build your word bank through experience, not anxiety. Think about a child learning to speak. They say "goed" instead of "went." Do we laugh at them? No, we smile. We correct them gently, and slowly their brain fixes itself. You are that child again when learning a new language. Let your inner learner breathe. If you keep waiting to be perfect before speaking, you'll never speak. Perfection is not the starting point, it's the destination. You don't become fluent to speak. You become fluent by speaking. Try this small challenge today. For 5 minutes, speak English without worrying about grammar. Don't stop, don't edit, just talk. Describe your day, your dreams, your thoughts. You'll realize something powerful. Your brain knows more English than you think. It's your fear that's been holding you back, not your vocabulary. Here's the mindset shift. Grammar is not a cage, it's a guide. Rules are not walls, they're bridges. And mistakes are not signs of failure, they're proof that you're trying. When you lose the fear of being wrong, you start being real. Your words may not be perfect, but they'll be alive. And real communication always beats perfect grammar. Remember, English doesn't need to be flawless. It needs to be fearless. Chapter 3. Think in English, not translate. Now we come to the most powerful switch of all. The moment you stop translating and start thinking in English. This is where fluency begins. Let me explain why translation slows you down. When you think in your native language, your brain must first create the thought, then translate it, then find the English word, then speak. That's 3 mental steps for every sentence. No wonder you feel slow, confused, or stuck. But when you start thinking in English directly, there's no translation. There's only expression. The sentence flows like water. Psychologically, this is called automaticity, the ability to perform without conscious effort. And it's built through repetition and association, not through memorizing word lists. Let me show you how to train it. Step 1. Describe your world in English. When you wake up, say, "I'm brushing my teeth." "The water is cold." "The sunlight feels warm." These small phrases are the seeds of fluency. Step 2. Narrate your thoughts. When you walk, when you cook, when you rest, speak silently in English inside your mind. Don't translate, just observe and describe. Step 3. Connect emotion with English. If you're angry, say, "I'm angry." If you're proud, say, "I'm proud." When you connect feelings to words, your memory strengthens instantly. And here's a secret few teachers talk about. Stop learning words alone. Start learning phrases. Your brain doesn't speak in single words, it speaks in patterns. Learn take a break, not take and break. Learn make a decision, not make and decision. That's how you think in phrases, not words, and that's how real fluency grows. Here's a short story to prove it. Once there was a man named Rafi. He studied English for 6 years. He knew thousands of words but couldn't speak fluently. One day his teacher said, "Stop memorizing, start thinking." Rafi began describing his day in English, simple sentences at first. Within 3 months he was speaking naturally, not because he learned more words, but because he changed how he thought. That's the secret. The language of your mind decides the language of your mouth. So from today, whenever you catch yourself translating, pause. Take a deep breath and think, how would an English speaker say this? At first, it'll feel slow, but with practice, it becomes automatic. And when it does, something beautiful happens. English stops being a subject and becomes your second nature. You stop studying English and start living English. When you stop translating, you start transforming. Chapter 4. One thought, one sentence. Your English doesn't become powerful when you use big words. It becomes powerful when your ideas are clear. Simplicity is not weakness, it is strength. The problem for most learners isn't vocabulary, it's confusion. You try to say everything in one long sentence. You mix 3 ideas, 5 emotions, and 7 words you just learned. And then you stop thinking, why do I sound lost? It's because your thoughts are crowded. Language is like breathing. You must release one breath at a time. In the same way, you must express one thought, one sentence. Psychology calls this cognitive clarity. When your mind holds one clear idea, your speech becomes natural. Your listener understands. You sound confident. Think of your brain like a glass of water. If it's muddy, no one wants to drink it. But if it's clear, people trust it. That's what clarity in English does. It builds trust. Try this. Take one idea and write one sentence for it. For example, instead of saying, "I really want to improve my English because I think if I learn more words and grammar, I can talk confidently, and I want to meet new people and maybe travel and maybe get a new job," simplify. Say, "I'm learning English to grow in my life." That one sentence is not weaker, it's stronger. When your mind is clean, your sentences are clean. When your ideas are organized, your English sounds beautiful. There's a famous quote by Leonardo da Vinci: "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." That's not just art, that's communication. Your goal is not to sound complicated, it's to sound clear. Clarity is confidence. And here's the magic. Once you master clarity, you can expand your ideas beautifully. You can speak with precision, choosing every word like an artist choosing a color. That's how leaders, teachers, and speakers move people with simple, sharp language. Let's apply this to writing too. Many learners copy sentences from books without understanding the meaning. But writing is thinking on paper. If your thoughts are foggy, your writing will be too. So before you write, stop. Ask yourself, what is the one message I want to express? Then express that one message honestly. If you can say one sentence that touches hearts, you've already done more than 100 words that impress no one. When you master one thought, one sentence, your English becomes a mirror of your mind. Clear, calm, confident. And that is the first step toward true fluency. Chapter 5. Emotion is grammar too. Let me tell you something most teachers never say. English isn't just logic. It's emotion. Every time you speak, you're not just using words, you're transferring energy. People don't remember your grammar. They remember how you made them feel. If your sentences sound empty, it's not because your grammar is wrong, it's because your emotion is missing. Think about this. When a child says, "I love you," the grammar is simple, but the feeling, unforgettable. That emotion gives power to ordinary words. Psychologists call this emotional resonance. It means your brain remembers what it feels, not what it reads. That's why songs stay in your head longer than grammar rules, because music is emotion, and language is music too. When you speak English, don't hide behind rules. Speak from your heart. Say, "I'm proud of myself today." Say, "I'm grateful for this moment." Say, "I'm scared, but I'm trying." Feel your words. That's how you build your word bank with meaning, not memorization. Every emotion you express creates a memory connection in your brain. If you say, "I'm tired" with a sigh, your brain learns both the word and the feeling. If you say, "I'm excited" while smiling, your body reinforces the sound, tone, and rhythm. You're teaching your emotions to speak English too. Emotion is not decoration, it's grammar of the soul. When you write, let your sentences breathe. Use rhythm. Use pause. Add small emotional words like actually, really, honestly, finally. They make your writing human. Let's test it. I passed my exam. Okay, that's fine. Now try, I finally passed my exam. Now it feels alive. One small emotional word created meaning, tone, and connection. That's what emotion does. It paints invisible colors into your sentences. The great writer Maya Angelou once said, "People will forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel." That's true for English, for life, for leadership. If you speak with emotion, people listen longer. If you write with emotion, people remember your words. So from now on, don't just learn English to communicate, learn it to connect. Every word is a chance to touch someone's heart. Your grammar shows you studied English. Your emotion shows you understand life. That's why I say emotion is grammar too. Chapter 6. Words with Purpose. Let me ask you a deep question. Why do you use the words you use? Do you speak just to fill silence, or do you speak to express something real? Every word you say carries energy. It can lift someone or hurt them. It can create peace or start a fight. That's why choosing your words carefully isn't about sounding smart. It's about living consciously. This is the psychology of intentional language. When you speak without purpose, your mind becomes noisy. When you speak with purpose, your words cut through the noise like light through fog. Let's understand this through a simple idea: clarity over clutter. Most learners collect vocabulary like souvenirs. They memorize words without meaning. But if you don't use them with intention, they fade. That's why I tell my students, don't just learn more words, learn to use fewer words with purpose. For example, instead of saying, I really, really, really like it, say, I love it. Instead of saying, in my personal opinion, I think maybe it's kind of possible, say, I believe it's possible. Simple, honest, sharp. That's how you speak with precision, not by using big words, but by using true ones. Let's take a psychological angle. Your brain values what it uses often. It's called neural prioritization. The more you use a word with emotion and purpose, the deeper your brain stores it. So when you use a word, give it meaning. Don't say, I'm fine, when you're not. Say, I'm tired. Say, I'm hopeful. Say, I'm healing. These words don't just describe you, they define you. Every time you speak with honesty, your brain rewires itself to trust your voice. And when you trust your voice, you stop sounding like a student. You start sounding like a storyteller. Let's test this. Imagine two people talking. One says, I don't know many English words. The other says, I'm growing my vocabulary every day. Who sounds stronger? Who sounds alive? The second one, because they use words with vision. So from today, don't speak to impress. Speak to express. And don't just say something because everyone else says it. Say it because you mean it. When you use words with purpose, you don't just learn English, you learn awareness. You learn to build your word bank not from random lists, but from the truths that matter to your life. Your words become your character. Your sentences become your story. Your story becomes your identity. So, speak less, but mean more, because the purpose behind your words is what makes them unforgettable. Chapter 7. Rewrite your mistakes. Now let's talk about something most learners fear, but I want you to fall in love with it. Mistakes. Every mistake you make in English is not a failure. It's a message from your brain saying, I'm learning. But most people do the opposite. They make a mistake and immediately feel shame. They replay it in their head thinking, why did I say that wrong? And soon, fear replaces progress. Let me tell you the truth. You can't delete mistakes, but you can rewrite them. Psychology calls this cognitive reframing. It means changing the story you tell yourself about your errors. You can say, I made a mistake, I'm terrible. Or you can say, I made a mistake, I'm growing. Same event, different story, different destiny. When you make a grammar error, don't say, I failed. Say, I just found what I need to fix. When you forget a word, don't say, I'm stupid. Say, my brain is reloading. When someone corrects you, don't feel embarrassed. Say, thank you, you helped me learn. That's how you think in phrases, not words. You start seeing the whole picture, not just one broken piece. Let me share a story. A student named Rena once told me, Sir, I feel scared to speak English because everyone corrects me. I said, Good. That means your classroom is honest. She laughed. Then she started writing every mistake she made in a small notebook, her mistake diary. Instead of feeling ashamed, she studied them. Each week, she reviewed and rewrote them in better sentences. Within 3 months, her confidence exploded, not because she avoided mistakes, but because she befriended them. That's the mindset I want for you. Mistakes are not your enemy. They are your map. Each one shows you where your brain is ready to grow. In neuroscience, this is called error feedback. It's how the brain rewires itself through correction. Every time you rewrite a mistake, you build a stronger neural path. You are literally sculpting intelligence. So when you fail, don't hide it. Highlight it, then rewrite it. Make a ritual out of your errors. Take your last 10 mistakes, write them on paper, and fix them by hand. Then say them aloud. Feel the change. That's growth you can hear. Because language mastery doesn't come from being right all the time. It comes from courage, awareness, and persistence. When you rewrite your mistakes, you are not just fixing English, you are rewriting your story. You're proving to your brain, I don't quit when I'm wrong, I learn until I'm right. And that, my friend, is the real grammar of success. Chapter 8. The Power of Reading Aloud. Let me tell you one of the most underrated secrets to fluency. Reading aloud. Not reading in silence, not reading to finish a page, but reading out loud, with emotion, with rhythm, with energy. When you read aloud, something magical happens. You train your eyes, your tongue, and your ears, all at the same time. You create a connection between your voice and your thoughts. You teach your brain to speak with precision, not hesitation. Science calls this auditory feedback. It means your own voice becomes your teacher. When you hear yourself speak, your brain catches mistakes your eyes can't see. You start to notice tone, flow, and confidence. It's like training your English muscle in real time. Remember, silence teaches memory. Sound teaches mastery. Try this. Pick one paragraph from your favorite English book or article. Read it aloud 3 times. The first time, read slowly to understand. The second time, read with rhythm and natural tone. The third time, close your eyes and repeat what you remember. You'll feel something shift inside you. Your words start flowing. Your pronunciation improves naturally. Your sentences feel alive. Now, imagine doing this for 10 minutes daily. In 30 days, your fluency will grow faster than in 6 months of silent study. Because reading aloud is not about reading, it's about hearing your growth. But there's something deeper here. When you read aloud, you're not just practicing English, you're reprogramming your self-belief. Think about it. Most learners stay silent because they're afraid of how they sound. But every time you speak your voice with confidence, you remind your mind, my English deserves to be heard. Here's a small ritual I want you to try. Stand in front of a mirror, open your book, and read 1 page aloud every day. Don't whisper, don't rush, feel every word. Look at your reflection and say to yourself, I'm not studying English, I'm living it. That's how you build your word bank through sound, emotion, and repetition. The more you read aloud, the more natural your sentences become. You'll start to think in phrases, not words, because your mind will hear English as music, not math. Reading aloud is the bridge between understanding and expression. So, let your voice become your classroom. Let your sound become your confidence. Because the more you speak to yourself, the more the world will want to listen to you. Chapter 9. Build daily writing discipline. Now we move to something that transforms your English from practice to power. Writing every single day. I know what you're thinking, but I don't have time, or I don't know what to write. Listen to me carefully. Discipline doesn't need time. It only needs 10 minutes and truth. Writing is not just about words, it's about awareness. When you write, you slow down your thoughts. You organize chaos into clarity. You train your brain to think in complete English sentences instead of fragments. That's why writing daily is not optional. It's psychological therapy for your language. Here's the rule. 1 page a day, no excuses. You can write about anything, your morning, your dream, your struggles, your goals. The topic doesn't matter, the habit does. Because your mind learns through rhythm. If you write every day, your vocabulary naturally expands. You don't just memorize new words, you own them. That's how you truly build your word bank, through use, not memory. Let's connect this to brain science. When you write, neurons fire together in patterns. It's called neural consolidation. Every time you use a word, the connection grows stronger. Within weeks, your English starts to feel like part of you, not something you're forcing. Here's how to do it right. Keep a small English growth journal. Write 1 paragraph daily by hand. Read it aloud once after writing. Underline 1 new phrase or word that you learned. That's it. 10 minutes of writing can change your entire brain's relationship with English. Let me tell you a story. A student named Arjun once told me, "Sir, I know English words, but I can't speak fast." I asked him to write 1 page every morning for 21 days. At first, his sentences were short, broken, and simple. But on day 22, he said something powerful. "Sir, I don't think before writing anymore. The sentences just come." That's fluency, not perfection. Flow. Writing every day also teaches you emotional control. Some days your mind will resist. Some days you'll feel tired or blank. But those are the days you grow most, because discipline builds identity. When you write daily, you're not only improving your grammar, you're building your self-trust. You're proving to yourself, I can stay consistent. I can build something, even in small steps. And that's what real fluency is. Emotional endurance. So, from today, don't just be a learner, be a writer. Your notebook is your personal coach. Your pen is your accountability partner. Because once you build the habit of writing daily, you'll realize something magical. Your English doesn't just improve, you improve. And that's when your discipline becomes your destiny. Chapter 10. Write to remember, speak to live. We've reached the final chapter, and maybe the most powerful one. Because now it's not just about learning English, it's about becoming English in your thinking, feeling, and being. Here's the truth. If you want your English to last forever, you must write to remember and speak to live. Let's start with the first half. Write to remember. Your brain forgets 80% of what you learn within 1 day if you don't use it. But when you write something down by hand, you create a physical memory, a muscle imprint that stays. Writing doesn't just record your thoughts, it rewires them. Every time you write in English, you're telling your brain, this matters, keep it. You're sending a signal of importance, and your brain listens. So write. Write what you learn. Write your mistakes. Write your dreams. When you write, you don't just learn words, you build your identity. That's how you build your word bank in a way no app or course ever can. But remember, writing is only half of the magic. The second half is speak to live. Because if you only write English but never speak it, your words will die on paper. You must breathe life into them. Every sentence you say out loud becomes part of your memory, your rhythm, your emotional DNA. The more you speak, the more your brain connects thoughts to action. That's how language becomes living. Think of your favorite song. You don't memorize every lyric consciously. You remember it because you feel it, you sing it, you live it. English works the same way. When you speak with emotion, your brain learns faster. When you speak with curiosity, your brain stays open. And when you speak with precision, your brain starts trusting your voice.
That's when English stops being a task and becomes your second skin.
Let me give you something practical. Every morning, write one short paragraph about your day. Then, read it aloud like a story. Don't worry about grammar. Worry about energy. Feel the words. Perform them. Writing builds your memory. Speaking builds your mastery. That's why I say, write to remember, speak to live. When you speak, you teach your brain confidence, you teach it rhythm, you teach it courage, and courage, not grammar, is what makes a person fluent. There's a moment in every learner's journey when something shifts. One day, you stop translating. One day, you stop overthinking. One day, you open your mouth, and English just flows. That's not magic. That's memory meeting confidence. That's you becoming everything you practiced to be. So write boldly, speak fearlessly, learn deeply. Because the purpose of vocabulary is not just to talk, it's to transform.
Your words create your world, and when your English grows, your possibilities grow.
When you think in phrases, not words, your thoughts become smoother. When you build your word bank with purpose, your ideas become bigger. When you speak with precision, your message becomes powerful. That's how you stop being just a learner and become a communicator, a thinker, a creator. Remember, vocabulary isn't just the number of words you know. It's the number of worlds you can express. So from today, don't chase English, embody it. Don't fear mistakes, rewrite them. Don't learn words, live them. Because English, at its core, is not just language, it's life, in sound, written emotion, and spoken power. And you, my friend, are not just learning it, you're mastering it, word by word, page by page, voice by voice. So, if you loved this video, if you want more content that makes you smarter, stronger, and fluent, then don't forget to subscribe right now.
Because on this channel, we don't just learn English, we become the best version of ourselves.
In English, in life, and in memory. Your mind is ready. Your words are waiting. Let's go make them unforgettable.